Cool. Ready.
Just open my notes so I have those here.
I'm good. I'm assuming Chris is out.
Yeah, he's sick.
Yeah, Chris is sick today.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you guys have, as I recall, just made it into Urdun, and you went shopping for some cold weather gear.
Yes.
I presume that you are all happy with the gear that you have purchased.
You were going to let us know about bonuses? I did pay money for a hat.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's not a set bonus, but you were going to reveal later that something about that was going to be interesting.
Yeah, I was going to give you like a small plus to
as long as I'm wearing
to survivability.
I'm assuming that goes down the moment I forget to comb it.
I think so. Yeah.
It's not quite magical. I wanted it to be sort of like essentially like masterwork.
Okay.
So like masterwork armor reduces armor check penalty, but doesn't actually increase the efficacy of the armor. It's just like so well crafted that it fails to hinder you in other ways.
Got it. Yes.
And so I wanted something similar. But unfortunately, there's not like a bunch of rules to hamper you for wearing warm weather clothes. It's mostly just like, you know, if you have them, then you don't have to roll survival checks. So, I don't know. I'll keep thinking on that. I'll figure something out for you, I promise. But I don't have it for you today, unfortunately.
Okay, because I wrote down I have one Urdun hat with a mohawk down the middle.
Yep.
And one hat feather comb. Why did I buy these things?
But you bought the comb because
I'll sleep with the hat on.
You can't sleep with the hat on. You have to take it off at night.
I do?
Well, you don't have to take it off at night, but if you do, then the mohawk won't be quite as...
Right, that's what the what's the feather comb is about, though, right?
Attractive, yeah.
Yeah.
So the comb should help you. You have to remember to do that in the mornings.
You're gonna have a sheet of paper that says, "Did he comb his hair?"
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't. Well, that affects your...
Luck -1.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I think we're Paul, did you want to get more weather? Did we all get the weather gear that we wanted, or no?
Yeah, I bought some cold weather gear, but mostly I bought little clothes for my cat.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was important.
And
but you don't have those yet, because...
No, I have to wait for them to be completed.
Yeah.
And Unatra didn't buy anything, but we're still at the shop. So if you wanted to go all out,
I got cold. I got winter clothes. I think that was the cold. Oh no, I also got cold weather outfit.
We got
cold weather outfit is sufficient.
Yeah, from near Grummish, but now we're at this place that is like, you know, if you ever played the RPG games like Super Mario RPG or anything, like you're in the special, like you're nested deeply into some place where it's even more specialized. So you get the even more specialized like winter weather outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the store had the women's cold weather outfit, and it's like basically a bikini with fur.
Yeah.
It keeps it warm somehow.
Keeps you even warmer.
That is magical.
Yeah.
that is. I have my same old cold weather outfit. I don't want to update. I'm running out of spaces.
I gotta say, if someone ever makes the horrible mistake of putting me in charge of a magical animated fantasy world, I'm going to reverse the armor mentalities. All the men will be wearing essentially just loincloths, and the women will be decked out like neck to ankle in full plate all the time.
Yeah, that sounds like how they're doing it for Monster Hunter a little bit more, but
are they? That's awesome.
They're trying to. It's not all the way there yet. But yeah, so you're not gonna get anything else. Okay, so we're gonna go to the the site, correct? Make sense?
Archaeological dig, is that what it is?
That's those are the words I was looking for. Yeah. And is this like, are we still in the morning at this point?
Yeah, it's like late morning, like nearing lunchtime, but not quite lunchtime.
Okay, so we'll head there with everything that we've got so far with our animals. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Cool. Sounds
take
good.
whatever you want. This is not related to D&D, but did you guys see that there's a guy at Evo using a Guitar Hero controller?
I did see that, and that was
Wild.
I mean, he got on stream for that. So
Of course he did.
yep. So
Why
good.
wouldn't you put that person on stream?
Yeah. Also, your boy got destroyed. I'm sorry.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. This is fine.
Yeah.
I've literally never met him in person. I'm sure he's a nice person, but he's by no means prepared for Evo
He got
because
schooled.
he has a paying job and has to go to it every day.
Yep, that's the problem. Yeah.
All right, so you set out. Which direction is the archaeological dig site?
In my head,
Oh.
I thought it was east of where we were, but that might be wrong.
I mean, Unatra has been guiding us to this point because she had good directional sense.
She so far has had the best sense of direction.
Yeah.
Have I?
Yeah. Well, I rolled for you, so you had the best.
Fair enough. That changed when I roll for myself, but
We'll find out.
Okay, I guess we ask the shopkeeper. Hey, excuse me, shopkeep. Thank you so much for this beautiful hat that I'm wearing right now, with the mohawk down the middle and the comb. Do you happen to know where the site of the dig is?
She's like, yeah, well, that they comprise like a third of my overall business these days. She's like, I'm pretty sure it's northeast of town. Here, let me write you down some extremely detailed instructions so that you don't get lost.
Oh, thank you so much. We're just, we're tourists
Thank
here,
you.
and we'd really love to see.
But my stupid sister is like friends with one of them, or yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just thought I would add that for color.
Mm-hmm. So she gives you really, really like exacting directions, like name of the street, how many like things you should pass before you get there, and
Aw.
where the edge of town is. And she's like, okay, so from here you're outside of town, so go in this direction until you see the tree with the two trunks or whatever. Like very, very detailed stuff. You're fairly sure that you're not going to get lost.
Oh, that's awesome. So we have like basically the map of the town at this point.
At least the map of how to get from where you are or from this lady's shop to the dig.
Okay, that's pretty good. All right, thank you very, very much. Sorry, did I ever catch your name?
I don't think you did. Hold on just a second, and I will tell you her name.
She seems like a very helpful person that I would like to remember her name.
which helpful person? Or are you just saying in general she is a helpful person?
In general, she's been very helpful, yes.
Her name is Glasha.
Kalasha. Sorry for butchering.
Especially because we'll be back to pick up those adorable animal clothes.
That's right.
Yep.
So thank you very much, Kalasha, for the directions and for everything.
So do we just head northeast now?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
So you head out to the dig. It takes you like an hour because you have to get pretty far outside of the town before you're allowed to operate as much heavy machinery as you need
Yeah.
to get a dig started. And when you get out there, you see that there are like 5 or 6 large-scale temporary tents. The kinds that are like big enough to have like a stove inside, and so you can see the stovepipe sticking out the top of them. Obviously going at full bore, just like pouring smoke out. And then there are various people in warm weather gear. It's mostly orcs, but there are a few dwarves and humans around as well. And they're doing all the hard work of like marking off. So there's like one main dig site that's clearly already been started, and then you can see 2 dig sites that are being planned out. So they're laying down the wire grid that you use to keep track of where you find everything.
Right.
They've got like the perimeter marked off, but they haven't quite laid out the internal grid yet on both of them.
Okay. So they seem like they've been working all morning, and we're just like coming up on them right now, right?
Yeah, it's the regular workday for them.
Oh shoot.
They've probably just gotten done breaking for lunch.
Okay, I just realized a few things. I'm gonna actually have to hop off the call and hop on the call. Be real
Okay.
quick. All right, just give me 1 second.
For some reason, anyone that I recognize.
Sure.
Cool. All right, I'm back. My bad.
I don't know if that is a
It would be
roll
a spot
or-
generally.
Yeah. I rolled a 11.
You don't see anyone you recognize.
Okay. You know, all orcs know each other, but I don't know any of them.
Every orc knows an orc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Is there like every dig site or every construction site usually has like the foreman's trailer, correct? Like foreman, like where the office is, all the paperwork, like the trailer. You know what I'm talking about?
I know the concept. I'm trying to figure out what the equivalent is at this site.
It's like the biggest tent. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, you can look for. There is one tent that is larger than the others. Although in this situation, I don't know that would necessarily be the command center, right? Because if you're trying to lay out a place where people can sleep,
Mhm.
like you probably have the largest tent just laid with bedrolls so that people can catch naps and stuff while they're working.
Well, I mean, you need to have a place where it's like everyone's coordinated, correct? Like mapping things out.
Right. So you can tell which of the tents has the most people going in and out of it.
Okay.
Right. So like one of the tents has people sort of like going in and then re-emerging a couple minutes later. Presumably that's the command center.
Okay.
Let me metagame. What are we trying to do here? Are we trying to let them know anything? Let us into a dig site? Like, what's the game plan?
Oh, for me, the metagame was I was gonna go in there and steal the map of what they have of the dig, and then to see
Oh.
if there are any places that might be like more of an opening, like maybe they've sectioned off and be like dangerous tunnel here, blah blah blah, and then we just go in there.
Oh, so we're gonna be sneaky.
Yeah,
Um,
I was gonna bring it. I was gonna bring it back. I was gonna bring back the map. Like I was just gonna copy it real quick and then return it.
okay. Maybe we'll need to distract anyone. I don't know. Let's I guess let's take a look in there and see what we might need to do.
Yeah, I mean, we could also wait for lunchtime, for when everyone takes a break, and we can just sneak in there. Then, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean let's scope it out first while there's people in there.
Okay. All right. So I guess we will proceed to go into the biggest tent. I mean, the tent in which has the most number of people going in and out of.
Sure. So you go into the tent that has the most people coming in and out of it. On the right side of the tent are tables that are stacked high with various small to medium-sized hand tools. Right. So like if you need a trowel, this is where you're going to get like a trowel or a brush or a small pick or something to help you clear something out. And then on the left side, there is a large square table that has a grid drawn in the middle of it, and some markings in the grid, and there are grids off to the side of the other of the main central grid that don't have any markings in them yet.
Okay.
There are people here too. So there's obviously someone in charge of handing out the hand tools. They have like a little clipboard and a quill and are keeping track of things. And then there's 3 or 4 people sort of standing around that central table, talking about like, well, what if we dig here? Or, well, listen, if this is what we think it is, I think that implies that we should find this over here. So I think we should set up a new grid out in this area so we can try and dig for it.
Ooh.
All right, I'm going to, I guess, look at the maps that are furthest away from them. And just, do I need to do a check to be like, how accurately am I copying down data, or like doing it in a sneaky way? Is that a sleight of hand move?
Are you trying to like copy down the map that's laid out on the central table, or?
I thought there were maps away from where the people were. Is that right? Or
you don't see any.
can I do a spot check to check?
Like
which...
there are, yeah. I mean, you could do like a search check with a penalty to try and like, because there's also like tall cabinets that have drawers and stuff. So like you would do a search check to try and see if there are labels on the cabinets and try and figure out like where the various things you're looking for might be.
Total of 14. Search.
Okay. So you notice that most of the filing cabinets are like regular letter size or the equivalent, right? So they're meant to hold documents. And they're none of the big flat drawers that usually hold things like maps.
Right.
So it's very possible that the only map is this big central map.
That everyone's around currently, right?
Yeah, but it's definitely keyed, right? So you can see that like it's not like there are long notes written in the boxes. There are like letters and symbols and stuff written in the various marked in the grid, and presumably the explanations of those keys are filed away in these drawers.
All right, understood. God, I really wish Chris was here. It's because I think he could Durkin his way through this one.
Yeah, maybe.
No,
he does seem to roll incredibly high when he's subverting everything I've planned. So.
I know, it's so good.
It's
Hector, I do have an idea. Hey, do you remember when we were at Micah and we did that? Like we all worked on that documentary about like renewable energy, and we went to like the dump and filmed shit at the dump.
I don't remember this. I can't believe it.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
sounds awesome.
Yeah, they just basically involved the whole video department in this.
Okay.
And I decided to go and like do extra credit for it, get some additional information about it. And I just like basically showed up at the airport with a camera and went to the like customer service area and said, hey, I'm a student and I'm documenting stuff for this documentary. And this guy walked up to me and he was like, yeah, let me show you all about how we're using renewable energy. And he like took me out on a tram and like all in like the back secret areas. Like I didn't even have to show like a student ID. He was just like more than happy to help. So my idea here is Unatra's our daughter. She is doing a project for pig blemishes.
Got it.
And she's here to like meet a professor that said that he was going to help her out and like show her around the dig site about like ancient magical artifacts, or just it's a believable enough lie, I think.
I like it because it's leaning into what Unatra already cares about, which is like
being your daughter.
Being her daughter, yeah, that's all she cares about.
Yeah.
I love that you guys have like established, like full on like Dale Gribble style, have established like an entire alternate life.
wait, okay, so this is this is gonna work because Unatra hates this plan, like any daughter would, actually, and we've done this one before. So you can be like, as we're talking to each other in real game, we're like, Hail Mary pig blemishes play, and I'll go, you got it. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay, so we all walk up, like really like announcing ourselves. It's like hello. I guess I'll let Paul, your character Douchey, actually go ahead and speak since I think the people here are mainly orcs in charge, correct?
Yeah, all four of the people who are sort of arguing over this map are orcish.
Got it.
Half orc, as it were, but
Oh, you Douchey.
Okay. Hello. Sorry, I don't know anyone here. Who? Can I talk to someone? Excuse me.
so somebody like stands up from the table. So like the four people who are at the table all turn to look at you simultaneously, and then one of them taps the person next to him on the shoulder and is like, "Just can you deal with whatever that is?" And the woman who got tapped walks up to you guys and says, "Hi, can I help you?" Like in the most patronizing way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi. I don't know if we're in the right place. This is my adopted daughter, daughter, of course, Unatra over here. And she's studying and was in contact with a professor here to do a research paper for her studies at pig blemishes. And we're just, she's a little shy. We're just looking for that professor. I don't remember his or her name. Unatra, do you remember it?
No.
No?
Some orcish name I can't pronounce well.
I'm still
big
trying
ol'
to teach her
racist.
about the orc. I'm still trying to teach her about the orc names. My husband Alan Verk here isn't. He has her most of the time, but we're trying to make it work. I'm sorry, this is none of your business. We're just.
She gives you like a knowing look and is like, "Well, let's go check the rolls and see if there's anyone here from Pig Blemishes." So she like walks you over to a cabinet. You see when you get there, it's marked like personnel, and she starts opening it up and going through it. Saying, she sort of starts to make small talk and is like, "So this professor is from Pig Blemishes and is here helping out with the dig, or is it like a partnership across with like a local org?"
It's so hard for me to get any information about this professor from my daughter. I'm sorry to talk about you as if you're not here, but she wasn't exactly clear about that. I believe he's working with the dig. Luckily, we coupled this trip with a visit to my sister. Otherwise this might be a wash.
So she's like digging through. She's like, "Okay, well here is a professor of artifaction from Pig Blemishes. Do you know Professor Alvin?"
Yes, Alvin. That's the name. Oh my gosh. That's not a hard name, Unatra.
Yeah.
You can remember that.
Okay, well it says here that he's on loan from Pig Blemishes, but unfortunately he's just left to go home on a week's vacation. So he's actually not here this week.
Unatra, do you know how much time we spent to come out here just for you to go to this dig site for this class? My God! And you couldn't remember the professor's name. Okay, so metagaming. I'm just yelling at her,
Just like as much as you possibly can.
like really
laying
making
it on super thick.
like creamy peanut butter, like really crunchy
Right.
peanut butter. Just making I hope that this person who is trying to help us feels really guilty by association for telling us this information. So I'm trying to make her feel guilty.
I whispered to her "This is why we're having trouble making it work."
So she like
know what to do.
she gets like visibly uncomfortable.
Perfect,
like,
yes.
Shifting in her own boots and
Yep.
is like, "Listen, I don't want your trip to be wasted. If you can come back in a couple of hours, I will try and find somebody. I don't think we have any other artifaction experts around. Let me just see if I can find somebody to show you around. Do you think that will help?
Oh, that would be so helpful. Thank
Okay.
you. We're so
Come-
lost here.
Come back in an hour. In the meantime, and she like spots a young orcish boy, like 19, like freshly, like probably a freshman in college, and calls him over and is like, "Oh, Uzul, please take these nice folks over to the food tent and see if there's anything left over from lunch. And you guys come back to me after your lunch, and I'll see if I have found anybody who can show you around."
Ooh, I love what you're doing right now, Francis, because that's exactly what they did on the set of The Wire. Basically, whenever anyone complained about lights or blocking traffic, they would immediately send them to craft services, and then they'd shut up. So
Food
perfect.
shuts people up. It's effective.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Is Uzo good looking or is he nerdy? I'm just trying. I'm thinking for Unatra. I'm trying to set her up here.
Uzul, Uzul, looks like the orcish equivalent of a football player.
Oh.
So like orcs are already taller and more muscular, and then he like this guy would be a star athlete at a college like Grummish U. He does look very uncomfortable though.
Okay.
Like sort of meekly like attempts to show you where the food tent is.
Oh, nice to meet you, Uzul. This is my daughter Unatra. She is blossoming into a beautiful young woman, wouldn't you say?
I wave out smiling.
And Unatra, like, how old actually is Unatra?
I think she's like 25, right?
I think 26. I don't remember that.
Like you're the Hollywood version of a high school student, basically, right?
Yeah.
Basically,
He's Charisma Carpenter and Buffy.
Got it.
I was just thinking Veronica Mars.
I don't have
Oh yeah.
I don't have an age written, but probably 26. I wouldn't have imagined it would have been
Cool.
that crazy high, but not a high school. No.
Actually,
Yeah.
old enough to be embarrassed and insulted that people perceive you as a high schooler. Got it.
To be fair,
Wait.
she's being perceived as a college student.
Okay, but
Yeah.
like young, right? Like
Right.
freshman.
Yeah. So roll a sense motive if you can.
All of us?
Whoever would like to know what this guy's reaction to the situation is.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
Oh.
8. I get a sense motive of plus.
Ooh, 19.
So 10
18.
total. 10 total.
I'm sorry, what'd you get, Paul?
18.
18. Wow, lots of good high rolls.
Yep. Wasted.
uh,
Perfect.
Everyone except Unatra, or I guess you two, Alan Verk and Douchey, like you catch him visibly blushing and like, doing his best not to look at Unatra. And he gives like the most mumbling possible, like, I mean, sure, I guess, like, reaction. And picks up the pace a little bit to try and get you guys to the tent faster.
Oh my god, this is
I tried
she's all that moment.
I
This is
try to
great.
give Alan Verk a look of like, we can use this boy's lust.
I just
Oh.
yep.
He will steal for her. He will kill for her.
Yeah, and I just nod. I'm like, yep.
Okay.
We're at this moment of the. This is perfect. It's the she's all that moment. The cool. I'm gonna put
Oh
this.
yeah,
in
does Unatra wear glasses and then suddenly becomes more attractive when she takes them
I
off?
don't have glasses on me.
Cool. We're at this moment in the movie.
Yeah, so Unatra doesn't even wear armor, right?
Clothes. Yeah.
I have winter clothes on.
Wait. So can we? Do you have a hat?
No, I don't have a hat. I did not get a hat.
Do you have?
Or unless it comes with winter clothes.
I was just trying to think of you like removing your hat, and it's just like this music from "She's All That's" playing in his
Yep.
in that kid's head, and not in anyone else's head.
Well, I don't have
And then
a
you trip at the foot of the stairs
Yep.
to show that you're still relatable, even though you're super hot.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Right. So I'm sorry. So you
And you thought
playing
we were.
this scene out in my head.
And you thought we were dungeon crawling. Nope, we're doing "She's All That."
Um. So anyway, you you like arrive at the tent, and he sort of like holds the flap back to let you guys enter first.
Mhm.
And you see it's a pretty typical looking mess hall. Like, obviously not everybody's expected to eat at once because there's only like 3 or 4 long style tables that can seat like 8 to 10.
Mhm.
And so it's one side, and then there's like the big potbelly stove in the middle that is like radiating heat to make it like comfortable to sit around in here.
Mhm.
And then on the other side is one very long table with no chairs that has those chafing dishes that like caterers set up with the little candles underneath.
Yes.
And those have been all of the hot food has been picked more or less dry.
Yes.
But there's still like a few sandwiches laid out. Like people are cleaning up, like they're clearly packing up lunch. There are still like a few sandwiches laid out, and like a ludicrous number of leftover desserts.
Mhm.
Like there's like 3 different kinds of like brownies and cookies, and tons of all of them. And they're like, like you clearly like surprised all the people who were cleaning up, and they were like, oh, we weren't really expecting anybody else.
Mm. Yeah, they were like getting ready to like go home. You know, like everything's gonna be cleaned out, but here we walk in.
Or at least turn over for dinner, right? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Is it sort of a situation in which he's going to be eating with us? Like, is he like taking care of us for a bit, or did he just lead us into this tent?
So I was gonna let you roleplay your entrance into the tent. But I think his goal here in a minute is gonna be like, okay, well, enjoy your food. Like he's gonna like get you through get you some food, and then like once you're sat down, be like, okay, well, I have to go do work, and
think-
beg off.
I would love to see if we could get a little pocket-sized like printout map from Oozle if he has one. I apologize because I also have to start to get ready for the day, so I'll be sort of in and out for the rest of the session.
Okay.
But if you guys want to, I just sort of want to. But so, Oozle, what brings you here? You know, like
Yeah.
sort of get to that conversation.
Yeah, so he like comes in behind you guys and is like showing you guys through the line. He like appears to know the cafeteria workers or the mess hall workers and is like, "Oh yeah, they're just gonna grab some sandwiches. They're I guess here to get shown around. So they just need a place to hang out. I think they can hang out at the tables here." And the cafeteria workers are like, "Yeah, I mean, okay, whatever." One of them is sort of like, yeah, I'm sorry, there's not really any hot food left, but there's sandwiches and cookies.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay for us. Yeah.
So presumably you guys, pick up some foods or whatever, foodstuffs,
Cool.
head and sit down to a table.
Yep.
And he's making small talk with you the whole way. Actually, so the way I picture it, he is doing his best not to make small talk. Like he doesn't have anything to say to you guys, but like Douchey is like pulling each factoid out one at a time.
Mhm.
Have you ever had like a conversation with that person who
Yes.
just wants to sit there and be ignored, and you're like, I will pull you into this conversation.
Yes.
So help me God.
Yep.
So Douchey's like, so where do you go to school?
Mhm.
Like one word answer, Grummish U. So you find out that he's a freshman in Grummish U. He is there on a soccer scholarship, or whatever the equivalent sport is in this world. Uh, he doesn't know what his major is going to be. He doesn't know what he's interested in. He doesn't know what he's going to do for the rest of his life. And when Douchey kind of points out, like, that's a lot of not knowing to wind up in like the frozen wastes of Bugzoni, trying to dig some stuff up. That's when he sort of breaks into like his first full sentences and is like, well, my parents want me to get a real degree. They don't want me to get like I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Rocks for Jocks degrees.
Nope. What is that?
So at a lot of schools that have prominent football programs, they take the athletes and they give them an education in a stupid major that nobody cares about. And they get a crappy version of that education. So like at some schools, it's like you can get a degree in Swahili, but you don't leave having learned to speak Swahili. It's basically just like a dump department where you put the athletes so that you can sort of push them through with good enough grades to stay eligible.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's a major problem in modern American universities.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's super fucked up.
Because the prerequisite is to have a very high GPA.
Right, because you have to be a student athlete, which means you have to do well in your classes.
But
so they load them down with a bunch of classes that, like, and at William and Mary specifically, there were like a couple of classes that you knew were going to be full of athletes and therefore much easier. So we had Rocks for Jocks, which was Geology 101. And we had Last Chance Math for Seniors, which was it was actually called the Math of Powered Flight.
But everyone else called it.
Yeah, we all called it Last Chance Math for Seniors. It was the math class you took to get your math GRE, so that you could graduate.
Oh.
And I took it my senior year, despite already having a computer science degree and taken like multivariable calculus and linear algebra. I was just like, oh, I need credits. I guess I'll take Last Chance Math for Seniors. And holy shit, man, was that the easiest class I ever took or what? We all worked together on exams.
Okay.
Like full on, the teacher encouraged it.
Was it open book?
Oh yeah, it was like he was like, whatever you got to do to solve these problems. Yeah,
Wow.
which is very real world when you think about it.
It is.
But also like, yeah. So anyway, the point is, he's like, his parents don't want him to get a degree like that. They want him to get a degree that will actually serve him in the future. And so they won't shell out money for any of the fun stuff. But if he signs up to go on things like this, this like, he's on like a 2-week program as part of his Archaeology 101 class. They will shell out the money to do that stuff.
That's like my parents told me that if I took the elective at Micah called The Way of Tea, that they would not give me like money for food.
Yeah, definitely. So that's like the situation he's in. He's not really in archaeology. Like, he's not passionate about archaeology, but he is here. And I get the feeling that Douchey talks him into sitting down and hanging out for a little bit. What do you think?
I want to make a love connection happen.
Right.
You won't, though.
Right, so that after everything he says, Douchey finds a way to bring it back to Unatra.
Right. Yeah, apparently.
Cool.
So, I ask, is like, is there anything interesting that you've learned while you've been here at this specific site? Like, is there anything, even though this isn't something that you're like super interested in, is there anything that's caught your attention?
So he's like, yeah, I mean, the reason that this field trip happened was because they're laying out these additional grids, and so it was supposed to be like a field trip about how archaeological digs get set up. But like the week before we showed up, they had just recently like uncovered some like huge structure that had been buried, They haven't like dug it all the way up, but they like found a window, I guess. So like that's pretty neat, and people are really like freaking out about it, and it's kind of disrupted our whole trip because like they stopped work on laying out these new dig sites because now they're not sure what's underneath the ground, and so they're trying to figure out like how to dig without damaging this structure.
Oh wow. How big is the structure?
They don't know. That's part of the problem, right? Like they don't know how far it extends in any given direction.
How much have they uncovered? I guess is more my question then.
So right now there's like 5 or 6 grid squares that have been dug out to like 20 or 30 feet. And at one end of the grid, you can see sort of they've like uncovered a part of a roof and a wall. So it's like there's like an angled corner sticking out of that has been dug out of the ground, and that's it so far. Apparently, they exposed a window, and when they looked inside the window, they could see like a really big room. It's apparently too fragile. They won't let any of us close enough to look inside, but they're saying that they like basically they never expected to find anything of that size intact anywhere, and certainly not here.
Wow, that sounds enormous. Can we actually see it from this tent? Like, is it nearby?
He's like, yeah. I mean, it's in the main grid. It's the only part that's really been dug up. So like he's like, yeah. If you go out this tent and that big main grid on the left, all of that digging, that's the only thing that's been dug up. And then they had to stop work because it wasn't at all what they were planning to find. And so they have to change their plan entirely. Like they were planning to excavate this whole like 80 by 80 foot area down to like 40 or 50 feet, and they've hit like 20 feet and in one square, and now they have to rethink everything.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, Uzel, we're historically bad with directions. If there's any way, like, can you like draw us a little map on this napkin if we want to like take a look at it, just to orient us here, or if there's any like little printed out maps, that'd be really helpful.
Yeah. Well, he's like, well, we don't really. There's not really much to be printed out because it's, well, it's a tundra. So he takes the napkin, and fumbles around and is like, oh, I don't have anything to write with. Do any of you have like a quill or
I believe I do have a quill.
a piece of charcoal or something?
Wait, Unatra has the quill, and then Unatra has it handed directly to Zul.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she does.
I mean,
And they have to
never
pause with
read
their
up on
hands
it.
touching for a second.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait.
The camera like zooms in on his fingers brushing hers as he takes the quill out of her hands.
And then sixpence none the richer. Kiss Me song plays
Yeah.
just for a very quick moment.
Again?
All unaware
Again.
of, right?
Again, yeah.
Because I rolled a 10 in my sense motive. Was that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am unaware of.
You're unaware of how bad this kid has it for you.
Yeah.
Although you do hear the thud of his erection underneath the table.
Guess this isn't a family show anymore.
Okay.
So I guess I don't.
I mean, I think at this point you probably notice because like
The erection.
like when he goes to grab the quill from you, he lingers like a little bit too long. And so anyway, he snaps back to reality, and he divides the napkin up into a 4x4 grid, and he's like, okay, I can't really draw the full 16 by 16 grid. But like the basic concept is like from here to here, that's A to P or Q? What is the 16th letter of the alphabet?
Good question.
I don't know. There's a Python script for this.
It is P.
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 Can't believe I got that right. So the down here is A to P, and then the vertical is 1 to 16. Those are so cool.
I think this stream has been flagged because you look. All you need to have is like a flag of some country behind you with that bandana and those knives.
100%.
Oh yeah.
So yes, it's like A to P along the bottom, and 1 to 16. And the grid's laid out in cardinal directions, right? So like 1 to 16 runs north to south, and A to P runs east to west. And so they started digging, I guess, in D1, and they've excavated from C1 all the way to E3. Does that match the size I was talking about earlier? No, that's too big by... No, that's exactly what I was talking about. Good. And I guess that the actual window is in E2, but I'm not sure. But it's all, like, when you get out there, they're all marked.
Because, it'd be good if it was E3 because Hector and I have snuck into E3 before.
Nuh-uh. Then
No.
it definitely is in E3.
No, I didn't.
Wait,
I wasn't there for that one.
you didn't join us.
No.
I forgot.
No. This is after me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very easy. You just need to photocopy the pass, and then they always use this generic sticker to say you're VIP, and then you're in.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep. Any case. Where were we?
We're streaming, right?
Oh man, I also played that song, the "Kiss Me" song, for just a moment. So I'm pretty sure we've been flagged for a little bit.
That's all right. Whatever. I don't need YouTube's money. I wasn't getting any anyway. Yeah. So, but all the grid's really well marked. So like, and he's like all the time he's like making markings on this napkin to try and like show you what the hell he's talking about. And the napkin is getting less and less legible by the minute. So he he realizes that he's kind of messed it all up, and it's like, yeah, so that's everything. He, like, puts the quill down on top of the napkin and like pushes it back to you guys. Like,
Just a black spot. That's hilarious. Okay.
Well,
Cool.
thank you, Uzal.
I take my quill back.
and he like snaps out of it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're welcome. I should probably get back."
Unatra, say thank you.
Thank you, Uzo.
He like giggles coquettishly. I don't think that's what he's intending, but he like giggles in such a stupid way that that's the only way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And like gets up and is like doing the whole like, "Oh, I hope you guys find what you're looking for," and like weirdly for some reason like bowing as he like backs away from you and is saying goodbye. And then he finally like runs into the tent flap and is like, "Okay," and just like takes off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Upon his exit, I just turn to Unatra flatly and say, like, if it wasn't obvious enough at this point, you can get that dick.
Thanks, Dad.
So kiss me. Anyway.
Cool.
So yeah, so you now have some, I guess, ham sandwiches and cookies and... I don't know what you drink in the tundra. I actually really don't. Probably coffee.
Hot chocolate.
Always
Yeah.
I'm drinking coffee. I'm drinking
Yeah.
coffee. Oh no, it's
hot chocolate with like a stick of butter stuck into it.
Sorry, it's kofefe.
Yeah. We're all super keto, so we're heavy on the fat.
Actually, Jane tried this out. Like, she put like a small thing of butter into a black cup of coffee, and it actually turned out okay. I'm not lying.
Coffee and butter is supposed to be really delicious.
Yeah, Jane.
Yeah, and add in a scoop of bone broth for protein. You're there.
What am I drinking?
No. You're drinking a drink specifically designed to get your body to go into the chemical reaction that it does when it's starving.
Wow.
Wow.
That's what ketosis is. Weird, right?
Yeah, it's I learned so much from these meetings that we have for D&D. You wouldn't believe. Okay, so we have all our stuff. God,
And you have a mildly useful napkin.
but the thing is, it's like the grid is really well marked already. It says the Oozle over and over again. So if we were to physically look at it, we know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is literally the only hole in the ground.
I don't know. Do we need? I can't wait until we have to roll a d20 to figure out if that's the right hole to just like get into the archaeological dig.
If you roll a natural 1, you will still find the right hole. I'm telling you as the dungeon master right now.
Oh, but I have a penalty on it, so it's a negative.
That makes a difference, yeah.
So you'll get confused and point at the flat ground and go, "There's the hole," and everyone else will be like, "No, probably not."
I dive in headfirst into the ground
Yeah.
and die.
Have we noticed that people who work here have any sort of passes or overall look about them that makes them look like they work here?
Roll, gather information.
Yep, you got it.
15.
5.
Actually, 18.
5.
14.
Good to have high int.
No.
Or no, that's charisma, right?
Yep.
So you guys realize that chatting amongst yourselves, you realize that like nobody's wearing a badge of any kind. Like there's no official uniform. Doesn't look like everybody's wearing sort of very haphazard, and there's no perimeter set up. Like there's no gate or fence or anything. Like this archaeological dig is very low security. Probably because they weren't expecting to find a dig of this importance.
Mm-hmm.
So
You guys
my,
reason.
my impression is, like, barring running into that specific woman we saw before, that if you guys sort of follow me into the dig site, there will probably be no one stopping us, and if someone does, I can just be like, "Oh, hey, I was brought in from Pig Blemishes to add extra hand to this unexpectedly large dig." That seems pretty reasonable as long as we act like we own the place.
Sure, but that's if we don't come across this woman somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how long we're spending here in a dig, but I don't know. It seems like there's not a lot of people out here.
Yeah,
Seems like we'd run into her again.
maybe. I mean, since she was the one who was asked to deal with us, she's maybe lower on, like, she might be more administrative.
Can we ask if we can just help? I mean,
I guess that's a thing.
like,
I have a question for you, Derek.
yeah.
You're an administrator on a dig site that went from being fairly routine to being maybe one of the most momentous finds in the last, 50 years.
Right.
And then some random people show up and are like, "Hey, we want to help."
Well, no, but I'm saying because we already have the cover story. We were here for a week. Something like, sorry, we were supposed to meet up with whatever professor around here for a week, right? I guess I didn't see it like as a necessarily.
For the last time, Unatra, Professor Alvin. It's not hard.
Look,
Yeah.
okay, it's 2 whole syllables. All right, whatever. We can risk flying again. I just didn't know if we'd run into that person again. That's
It's
all.
also not an orcish name.
Well, Unatra does not know that. Okay, there's not a lot of Alvins where Unatra comes from.
Just Simons and Theodores.
It's in theaters.
Yep.
Oh God! Now I have the theme song in my head. Shit. Do 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 do. All right. So what do we do? Shall we?
I mean, if you want, I'm down for it though, because I can try to disguise us as workers too. I have some disguise skill.
Why
I don't know
wouldn't
why that's based on charisma. What?
Why wouldn't we just wait until after hours to then just sneak in?
Why don't we wait until after hours and disguise ourselves as workers?
There's no one. There's gonna be no one in the dig site, right?
Probably, but wouldn't hurt to be like doubly safe, right?
I think you're convoluting it. I think it's just we're already in. We already have all the information we need that anyone else has around here, due to Uzul, your lover, and we can just after hours sneak in because obviously there's no security. You just check there. No one has badges. I assume there are no guards because no one stopped us from walking onto the site. So we can just like, as soon as everyone is like parted ways for the day, we can just like run in there and just sneak in and grab the artifact of infinite power or whatever.
All right, that sounds good enough, I suppose. Yeah.
I don't think you need to convolute. I don't think all of a sudden we're just gone and then all of a sudden 3 new people come in. They're like with mustaches and hats and it says, "We're here to fix your toilets." You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of them is on the shoulders of the other wearing a medium-sized robe.
Okay, so there are 2 people then, but
All right.
I think we got this. So we're here. It's right after lunch. We had kind of lunch left over. I'm assuming that Yushi wants to keep prolonging this sort of routine. So we go back to the woman who I don't think we ever caught her name really, and proceed to come back because it's been an hour. So we're going to talk to her.
Yeah.
All right, so you head back to the tent. You find the... you find the administrator, and she's like, "Great news! I found another person who has some time to show you around right now. This is Professor Bella.
Okay.
She is newly arrived on site. She's only been here a few days, but that's the only reason. Those are the only people who have any free time right now. She's been pulled on as an expert in historical glass, so I think she has the most knowledge about what we've unearthed already, and hopefully that helps you guys.
That's so helpful. Thank you. What is she standing right there, Professor Bella?
Yeah.
What does she look like?
She's a human. She has like dark hair, at least the few strands of it that you can see poking out from her extremely heavy parka. But she is like 5'2", so she's like very short for a human. Not very, but pretty short for a human. Not as old as you would expect for someone who is like an expert on historical glass. So she's probably in like her late 30s, maybe early 40s, and she seems to be pretty chipper when she greets you guys.
Well, I know who this person is. Say thank you, Natra.
Yeah. Thank you, Natra. Hello. Nice to meet you.
She's like, "Hey, hi, how are you? I heard you're doing a research paper. What's your paper about?"
Haven't fully decided. It's more of a freeform paper. It's part of I think one of their new class programs, like experimental. I'm not really sure, but
Lunatra,
Yeah,
you should
I'm
really
gonna
figure
need
this
you to
out.
roll a bluff check.
sure. I did not plan for this plan here.
Yeah, I know.
13 plus. It's my bluff. 13 plus 5? 18.
Wow, good for you. So she kind of like tilts her head a little bit and is like, "Well, I guess that's fine. Do you want to just start with the good stuff? You want to just go straight to the dig?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds.
That would be so
amazing.
cool.
Great. So she like motions you guys to follow her, and she takes you out to the edge of the grid, and you can see that just as Azul had said, like each grid square, and they're about 5-ish feet square each of the grid markers. But you can see at the edges, you can see little placards that have the correct indexing engraved on them. So you can always tell, basically anywhere in the grid you are, you can always look up and see which grid liner you're in each direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so she walks you like directly over to the only hole in the ground. There is a ladder leading down into the hole because it's almost circa 20 feet deep at this point. And she says, and there's a table set up at the top of the ladder with little like paper booties. And she's like, put these on. We don't want you guys leaving footprints that we can't distinguish from like actual historical markers.
Okay.
Okay. I put those on.
Yeah, we put them on. Yes.
Okay. Cool. So she like escorts you down the ladder, and as you're like, so she leads, and as you're each coming off one at a time, she starts saying, so I guess what they were expecting to find is like a first century campground kind of situation. Like they were expecting to find waste and clay works and evidence of fire, but no permanent dwellings of any kind. We don't have any historical records of large-scale civilizations in the area, just nomads. So that's what they were looking for, I guess, when they started digging here. But as you can guess from my involvement, they actually found some pieces of historical glass. Specifically, if you look over there, she points to the opposite end of the hole, you can see that there's a little bit of a roof and a wall, and you can just see the top foot or two of a window that has been fitted into the exterior of this building, which is something that we wouldn't have expected to see anywhere in this region.
Mhm.
And so she like as she walks you guys down over there, she's like, and actually you can see that the glass in this window is stained. So it's like an actual stained glass window. We haven't figured out what the motif is yet. We can only see the top foot or so, which is like looks like blue and white, so probably sky and clouds, but we haven't gotten deep enough to figure out exactly what's going on here. But yeah, so this is the dig, and so you can see as you like look around, there are other people sort of like slowly scraping at the like semi-vertical dirt walls that mark off the grid markers that have not yet been excavated.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like scraping at them to try and like make progress and see which direction the walls go in, and trying to figure out the size of this thing. And she says there's a mostly clear thing, or the mostly clear frame of glass that's right at dirt level. So if you want, you could even get down there and look into it.
Oh, we would love that.
Yes, we would love that.
I
Great, go ahead. She like motions like, go for it.
Oh.
Okay, so is the material that's surrounding the stained glass, are we looking at stone or what are we looking at?
Yeah, so the exterior of the building, you mean, like the
Yeah.
wall of the building?
Correct.
It's stone. Yeah, it's stonework.
Guess who has
Uh,
stone cunning?
Yeah, so if you were a cunning dwarf with knowledge of stonework,
Gee whiz. Okay, so what do I roll to like actually like examine this?
you could roll.
It's a 2+ racial bonus on search.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that.
Yes,
Oh.
if you want to like check out the wall and see if you can learn anything about it, that's cool.
Oh, and like I don't remember if I already added +2 from my investigator feat onto my search already or not.
You should have.
Yeah, 10 to, it's a lot. I have like ranks in it too. All right, yeah.
Yep.
You'll know the hell out of this.
It's a total of 20.
So there's not much to find in the exterior wall. You can see that the joint that transitions it from like vertical wall to sloped roof. You can see that joint has like a little channel dug into it.
Okay.
You think that might be essentially like a primitive gutter system.
Okay.
And you can see that the roof is also made of stone.
Okay.
And that's pretty much. You can tell that it's very finely worked. Like it's clearly the product of like either a very expensive investment or very talented workers or both.
Wow. Okay. Can I also examine if it's? I guess the building seems very intact for the fact that it's been underground. You know what I mean? Like it's structurally like sound.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, it's so weird, right? So we're actually on like a fault line. And so there's a lot of volcanic activity in this region. So they think what might have happened, because all of this is volcanic basalt, well, they think what might have happened is that the whole building was buried all at once with ash from an eruption.
Oh.
So yeah, so we have no idea what we're going to find when we get in there, or when we're going to get in there. We have no idea how big this building is. You can see if you look down there that it's a pretty big room underneath there, but it's not super well lit. You know, being buried underground.
Of course.
So we're not sure exactly how big.
Mm-hmm. Wow, fascinating.
I mean, everybody up here, all the orcs working here have dark vision, so they say it's really big, but I can't see.
Neither can I.
Can we? I guess we noticed that too because we're looking through the glass that she's pointing.
Well,
out.
I mean, it's like the pane of glass itself that you can see through is basically sticking up from the dirt. You have to like lay down and put your face up to it to see through it. It's
okay.
like a one little piece of an overall stained glass window that is
Got it.
transparent enough to see through.
Got it. Okay, and
So,
we won't be doing
since
that.
none of you described wanting to do that. I've held off on telling you what you'd see, but if one of you wants to get down.
I didn't think we'd be allowed to, so I'm gonna ask. May I? Like, I have dark vision. Would it be okay if I put my face near the glass? Like, I think I
Yeah.
should ask. I shouldn't. Just
She's
say-
like, yeah. I mean, like I said, you can go ahead and try and look through it. You know, be careful. Try not to like knock into the glass or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and like.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna like lay as close to the dirt as possible and like make sure I'm not like. I'm trying not to touch it. I'm trying to think of this as artwork. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Duchamp has a bunch of like sculptural pieces that are 3D like glass works, and if you want to get close, you can. But yeah,
Touching it is a bad.
touching is a bad idea.
Yeah, so you can see through this little pane of glass. So your dark vision extends 60 feet in
Yes.
all directions. You cannot see the opposite wall or either of the walls.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
I mean, It was good,
But
and have fun on set.
yeah, I'll tell you my meta idea is to like I sort of wish I would kick at Alan Burke's feet and like make him break the glass with his head.
Well, we'll
But
pick up here
I don't-
next
I don't
time,
think-
so.
Yeah, I don't think that Douchey even would want to destroy ancient artifacts like that. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We'll pick up here next time.
I'll see you guys later, guys.
All right.
See
See ya,
ya.
Paul.
Fun.
Bye.
Have fun.
Bye.
All right. Should I stop the stream and everything?
Yeah.
We're like right here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm stopping it